Hello, Print for Pay Hotel members, and it's another version of Better Call Art. And today we're here with Lisa Brown. Hello, Lisa.
Hi, Art.
And Lisa is the Senior Analyst at Gap Intelligence in San Diego, right?
Correct. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. But Gap is in San Diego, but you're in Vermont, right?
Yep. The gorgeous Green Mountain State.
That's
Nice and chilly.
That's awesome. On the East Coast, East Coasters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so the reason I wanted to get Lisa on, because there's been a lot of talk and a lot of traffic about supply chain issues. And then recently there's been a couple of hiccups that I read about in China. And maybe Lisa can put that all in a better perspective for us, since many of us are waiting months upon months for equipment. How about it, Lisa?
Yeah, thanks for having me on first, Art. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I think this is a really interesting topic and something I've covered pretty closely and kept my eye on over the last couple of years. But really recently, we know that it's kind of gotten worse from the manufacturer side in terms of the length of time it's taking for manufacturers to get the devices to their channel partners and therefore to customers. And it's really not something that's unique to your company, and we're seeing it across the vendors and really, across the US. So the length of time, can vary from a couple months to indefinite, with a lot of, challenges around what, how the manufacturers can better communicate, better support their channel partners. So a little background on what Gap does is we work closely with the manufacturers from a market research perspective, helping them with their business strategies, their go-to-market, pricing, et cetera. And it's interesting to chat with you maybe about what you're seeing, and then go into detail on maybe some of the solutions that could benefit the manufacturers in these situations.
Right. Yeah. So I just recently I came across, I was speaking to a dealer today, and said an order that they put in today, I'm not going to name the manufacturer, but they're not supposed to get product until the end of September for A3 devices, which I think I just don't understand. I mean,
yeah, I'm definitely hearing that too. And not many manufacturers are saying September, but they're saying we'll get it when we can, or we'll, they'll say a couple months, but then when it comes to the time for that device to ship, it might be extended, or it might, it's good, that order delivery is going to be pushed back. So,
right.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, it might be better to just say September and then set that expectation.
Yeah, well, really maybe. Well, September is, what is September? April, May, June, July, August. 5 months for August, 6 for September. So I recently also read, I think it was a report about China shut down one of their major shipping ports or cities. Is that true?
That's what we've heard. Again, I'm not as close to the situation, and we did see some major companies, Foxconn, for example, stopped manufacturing and ceased some of the shipping operations there within the last couple of weeks. So kind of unfolding, but yeah, that's certainly one of the issues that's come to light recently that's scaring people in the industry.
Right. So what I guess what not concerns me, but I mean, I've always been thinking, why can't our industry simplify, right? So when you look at enterprise copiers, A3s, we'll look at, just take A3 enterprise. What do we have? 7 manufacturers in there in the USA marketplace, or 7 players in the USA marketplace, and each one of those manufacturers have at least 5 or 6 A3 black devices and 5 or 6 A3 color devices. And then what we find in those devices is that some of the lower speed black and white machines aren't the spec'd out, or they don't have the same options as maybe some of the higher end of the faster A3 black and white devices. And then that transitions over to the color devices also. So the 20 or the 25 or the 30 pages a minute have smaller dock feeders, or they're of course they're slower in print. They may even have a slower chip speed. But then once you get above the 35, the 40 to 60, then they'll put the bigger document feeders on it. They'll put some additional finishing functions on it. And I believe that's where the manufacturers have it all. They have it all wrong, because if anybody's been in this business for some time recently, within the last 5 years, knows that if you get a 20 page a minute machine or a 60 page a minute machine, whether it's black or whether it's color, it's all the same print engine. It's all about speeding up or slowing down the speed of the print of the device, right? So,
Right.
I mean, why can't the manufacturers simplify and go to one device, one MFP, right? So it comes into the manufacturer as one box, and the manufacturer can do whatever they want with it. They can turn it into a 20 page a minute black, a 40 page a minute black, a 60 page a minute black. They can do what they want. But I believe it's best to do that with a speed licensing. So there is some speed licensing in use, as far as I understand now, with a couple of the manufacturers. But I'd like to see it paint a broad stroke from give the dealer, in black, I can make it whatever I want. But what I'm going to charge for is I'm going to charge the client an annual speed license. So being annual, it's going to give reoccurring revenue to the dealer. It can also give reoccurring revenue back to the copier manufacturer. The dealer could actually change the speed of the device if the client wants to get a faster machine. Nobody wants to go slower, but if they want to go faster, they can pay for an increased speed license, right? Or let's say they have a black and white machine, they want to turn it into color. Well, okay, well, here's the annual speed license for color, right? But it gives a lot of versatility for everybody to take one box, and my idea is also to have all of the same finishing or accessories available from a 20 page all the way up to a 60 page. So every document, to me, it's easier for everybody to support it. You're only shipping one box. You're only making these accessories, and basically it's up to the dealer on how they want to configure it. And then one of the other ideas I had was to make a variable speed license. So a variable speed license means, so this is available on duplicators many, many years ago, is that you could walk up to a digital duplicator and you could change the speed of the machine. So you could make it print at 40 pages a minute, 60, 50, 80, or full speed at 140. So that's just another avenue that you could give to the client. They could print at any speed that they want. And printing at any speed is pretty interesting. I understand I'm doing all the talking now, but printing at a variable speed is pretty interesting. Because as we know with color machines, sometimes when you're going to print on the different substrates, thicker substrates, copiers already have the ability, to slow the copiers down. Were you aware of that?
Yes, yeah. So with different media weights and substrates that reacts
through the
appropriately.
thickness. Through the thickness, right. So the manufacturers gives us ways to slow the machine down in not a roundabout way, thick 1, thick 2, thick 3, we can slow it down, but they don't give us a way to speed it up. And if they can give us a way to slow it down, of course, they can give us a way to speed it up.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think, go ahead.
So, I mean, those are my thoughts in a nutshell. I think it would make training easier for the dealers. I think salespeople would get to know their machines better because they're only having to know one device instead of 12 devices. It would simplify how much they need to know as far as a key operator involvement or what features are involved. Manufacturers would only have to order one box, right? And then when it comes to manufacturers, they would only have to manufacture one box. So they wouldn't have to go, okay, in 3 months, we're going to do 5,000 50 page a minute machines, or 5,000, 3,000 page a minute machines. And in the other essence, I think a lot of this craziness between a customer, well, 30 page a minute or a 50 page or a 60 page, I think it's a better client, how can I say, a client experience if we let them pick what they want. And then we just say, well, pick whatever you want, and this would be the cost for it. I don't know. Am I crazy?
No. I mean, you make a good point, and I think you're spot on. And we're seeing some evidence of this in what the manufacturers are coming to market with. And so like HP, well, first back a little bit, Canon really started this with its production model. So the high speed cut sheet production had this capability. But within the office, it was really non-existent until HP started doing this with their A3 laser jets. But it's not, as your suggestion would be, it's not the entire range. So you can't go from a 20 ppm to 60 ppm. It's limited to speed bands and model types. So for one series, you can have a 40 ppm, a 50 ppm, or a 60 ppm speed license. And that's where the limit is. But I like your suggestion more so of having it be the entire, A3 color series, or even the entire A3 portfolio. We also see a lot of the vendors optimizing their options and accessories. So now we're seeing more of a strategy to optimize options for an entire black and white and color A3 portfolio, where it's not just certain segments or only black and white or only color. So we're seeing evidence that manufacturers are trying to improve both their supply chain strategies, their manufacturing strategies, how they're going to market with these products.
Right.
Because it's making the dealer's life easier, really, right? And with inventory, you can stock one finisher instead of 5 or 6 different types of finishers for, 5 or 6 different series. So we're seeing that. And then the other point I was going to make is now Kyocera is now dabbling in the speed license with it's, it's only one series of Task Alpha models that has that option, and we haven't seen any others yet to date. But the fact that they're doing it is, I think, a sign that maybe more manufacturers will start thinking about this.
Right. So, I understand that print is going down. It's not terrible. It hasn't withered away on the vines. We're still supporting and selling equipment. Yes, volumes are down. But one of the biggest things I see sometimes when you see as when you're selling copiers, and you've been selling copiers for so long, one of the toughest parts of our job is when we get a hold of a net new client and they're opening up a business and they're going to have 30 employees and they need a print device. Well, it's kind of like, well, do you get them? You want to kind of meet their needs, right? And you don't want to put them over the edge because you got 30 people and we're going to plan on you doing X amount of prints. You don't do X amount of prints, but you should go with a $25,000 machine, and it doesn't really hold water when you go in the C-level exec saying, yeah, you got a brand new, business and we don't know what we're going to print. So a lot of the salespeople, they do the next best thing and they move down segment. They will start off with a 30 page a minute machine or a 20 page a minute machine and see where you go from there. But the problem is that 90% of those orders then are leased.
Mhm.
And then you're in there for a fixed term. You're in there for 36 months, or you're in there for 60 months. And what happens is, when we've seen it happen, is somebody goes a 60-month lease and they go 24 months in, then all of a sudden they're doing too much volume for the device. Now, this is a little bit older school, right? And all of a sudden they need to upgrade to a faster device. And they've got 36 payments left on their existing lease. That's not going to go away. That gets rolled into the new one. So just another reason for variable speed licenses, and a machine being the same machine. You put the one machine, oh, customer, yeah, you need to increase your speed because you're printing more. Yes, we can just do the speed thing.
Yeah, totally. I think from having more flexibility and really reminding, the OEM partners that you guys work with as dealers, reminding them any feedback you can provide about how important it is to be flexible and have more customization options from the customer perspective, that enables them to change up their contract terms or upgrade a device sooner, because it's really about the customer experience. And like you said, print volumes aren't necessarily increasing, and a new business, for example, might be more critical about their print infrastructure spend and what they are investing in. And with what we're hearing as part of the other trends, offices downsizing, or they're going hybrid, but maybe that changes. And being flexible on those kind of contract terms, I think, will be really crucial to the future of print.
There's going to be a certain portion of that industry, the clients, that will not embrace hybrid or remote. They need people in the office, and most of those are professionals, which are architects and engineers, because they need the collaboration, and they can't get the collaboration that they need through a Zoom meeting or through an intern sitting over somebody's shoulder, watching him work on a drawing, watching him work on a CAD drawing, watching him do markups on drawing, or just watching him do a different sketch on something. So you take that old experienced person working with the intern or the newbie, or who can learn by being hands-on or in front of somebody. And the nice thing about architects and engineers, and of course construction, is they're all A3 users, because they all need that 1117 capability. That's what I like about the AEC industry. You've probably heard me speak about it before.
Yeah, so that's definitely part of the challenge, right? With certain verticals are going to need A3. And so not having that flexibility for them in being able to adapt to the changes that are going on in the workplace, whether that's faster printing or slower printing, or, early upgrades, those kind of things, I think, will have to be adjusted long-term in how, vendors and dealers are approaching the market.
Yes, very true, very true. So Lisa, I want to thank you very much for coming on today. I really appreciate it. And I know we're a little bit over our time, but I'd love to maybe schedule one of these every couple of months and get a little bit more insight on, how GAP helps, and just, educate everybody a little bit more, right?
That sounds great. Yeah, thanks for having me. And I'd love a future discussion.
All right,
Great
awesome.
trend going on.
Hey, everyone, thanks for tuning in today. And of course, if you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. And everybody have a great day. And thanks again, Lisa.
Thanks, Art. Have a good one.